Now in 4 News Now at 6, they came, they saw, they plunged. The annual Coeur d'Alene tradition without the frigid temperatures.
The above normal temperatures sticking around for a little bit, but then we're going to see a cool down. I'm Mark Peterson, tracking a change of rain and potential snow as early as Thursday.
And coming up at 6:30, we're tracking new developments of that mysterious oil on the Spokane River, where we found crews today cleaning up the mess. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. Well, good evening and Happy New Year. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. A quiet holiday, but a busy sports day for local fans. We'll check in with Husky fans in just a minute. The new year means workers at hundreds of businesses across the state of Washington will get more money in their paycheck starting today. Washington's minimum wage jumped up to $16.28 an hour. That's one of the new laws going into effect this new year. In Idaho, a new law called the Clean Slate Law goes into effect today. It allows low-level offenders to petition to have their records sealed. This applies to nonviolent, non-sexual crimes, and they have to have stayed out of trouble with the law for the last 5 years. And new rules in place will protect Washington workers in conditions like this when our region is blanketed in wildfire smoke. Starting mid-month, the state will enforce year-round protections for people working outside in these conditions, like ag workers and construction workers. Companies have to do things like provide respiratory protection, requiring N95 masks, and immediately relocating anyone having symptoms related to smoke exposure. The United Farm Workers Union first supported these measures, which are already in place in Oregon and California. Well, police moved quickly to respond to a convenience store robbery on the South Hill today. 2 men robbed the 7-Eleven store at 13th and Grand at around 2:30 this afternoon. Police set up a perimeter and quickly had one person in custody. Police did not tell us if those men were armed, but we do know that no one was hurt. Well, hundreds of people kicked off the new year by jumping into the chilly waters of Lake Coeur d'Alene today, but the plunge didn't exactly feel as polar as it normally would. Natalie Grant takes us to Sanders Beach in Coeur d'Alene.
It's an annual tradition here in Coeur d'Alene. Hundreds, about 1,000 people gathering here on Sanders Beach to take a plunge in the cold waters of Lake Coeur d'Alene. But with temperatures this year close to 40 degrees both in the water and on land, that plunge might not seem as cold this year. 3, 2, 1. Starting off the year refreshed. For about 30 years, the tradition of New Year's Day plunging at Sanders Beach has only grown.
You know, you come down here, you get to wash your sins away in the water. You get to be happy, joyful with the group of people that are out here and, you know, family.
Yeah.
Friends Billy and Joe have been plunging together for more than 6 years now. But this year, that cold water might not be as shocking.
It's refreshing and you get to see the beautiful lake. And I mean, usually there's snow, but it's going to be, you know, tropical out.
Some people embracing the warmth with flowers and leis. This year was Chad Bennett's 28th plunge. And he says the warm temps help draw a larger crowd to the beach.
Once you get that initial shock out of the way, then yeah, you can stay in for quite a bit.
And while the plungers recovered just down the road, people were getting out to enjoy the warmer start to the new year.
We're collecting driftwood for art projects. Yeah. We collected most of it last year, but we're finding more. Yeah.
No matter the temperature, a tradition lives on to ring in 2024.
I feel invigorated.
Reporting in Coeur d'Alene, Natalie Grant, 4 News Now.
Yeah, certainly not as frigid as years past, but that water is still plenty cold and no help from the sun this week, that's for sure. We're looking live over downtown Spokane tonight, and we're still in this pattern of clouds and fog, but we'll be stuck in this rut into the rest of the week. Mark Peterson is here with the First Alert forecast.
Not potentially the rest of the week, but over the next 36 hours potentially. So we take another live look, and we can see the low cloud deck right over behind as you head out on I-90 to the west. We do have a dense fog advisory that is currently in effect for the Spokane-Coeur d'Alene corridor all the way along Highway 2 into Davenport. That is going to continue till tomorrow at 12 noon. So we look where we do have the dense fog right now, and it is the usual suspects out there. And, you know, we look at Airway Heights and into the West Plains. So allow for extra time on your commute. We do have patchy fog, certainly on the South Hill, the 5 Mile area, and heading north. So just more time, slow it down, and make sure even during the day your lights are on. Thank you very much. All right, mid-30s right now in downtown. We've got that in Liberty Lake. Post Falls at 33 degrees and 32 in the Spirit Lake. Colder temperatures, a higher incidence of dense fog. We see that in Cheney and Fairchild, both at or below freezing. So be aware as you roll out. Tomorrow, it's going to be 38 for us, 39 to Coeur d'Alene, Ritzville, Moses Lake, Tri-Cities. They're going to be around 40 degrees, cooler than what they saw last week. We will be cooler as well. We look at our planner for tomorrow. We're going to have the patchy morning fog. Some of that could be freezing fog, sort of looking like snow, but it's really not. And then we're going to rise up. 38 will be our high, but we're going to be in the upper 30s for several hours tomorrow afternoon.
All right, Mark, thank you. Your Christmas tree has probably seen better days by now, and the city of Spokane can help you get rid of it. The next few weeks are busy ones at the waste-to-energy plant as all that holiday trash comes in. That includes chipping and composting your dried-up tree. Curbside tree pickup starts tomorrow in Spokane. Trees over 6 feet tall need to be cut in half. Remember that. City and county residents can also bring trees to the waste-to-energy plant or the county transfer stations. They need them to be undecorated and not flocked. Well, the stage is nearly set for college football's national championship. We know Michigan is in. They just came back to beat Alabama in an overtime thriller in the Rose Bowl. The Washington Huskies hope to be on the other sideline next week. They're on the field in New Orleans right now, facing Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Allison Martinez is with some football fans tonight, live at the Swinging Doors in North Spokane. And Allison, there's got to be several Husky fans out there, I'd imagine.
Believe it or not, we do have a ton of Husky fans here very bravely representing the West Side in Spokane tonight. It is an absolutely packed house here at the Swinging Doors. Every table behind me is packed with friends and family ready to cheer on the Huskies. Now, as we said, it's completely packed in here. We've heard people making bets, making jokes, playful teases at each other. Lots of Husky fans here, but we do see some Coug gear here as well. Now, we are so excited to see how this game unfolds, and we'll be sure to keep you updated. Back to you in the studio, Derek.
All right, thanks, Allison. She and I are both Cougs, so this is a little tough for us, but we're trying to be professionals here. We'll keep an eye on that game and update you on the progress coming up a little bit later in sports. Now, the Cougs may not be in a bowl game this year, but they're still making news today. This morning on Instagram, quarterback Cam Ward announced he's not transferring after all. He's going to the NFL draft instead. Ward led the Cougs for 2 seasons and was one of the most talked about Cougs in the transfer portal, drawing interest from the likes of Florida State, Miami, and others. But he's chosen the NFL route instead. Around the world tonight, crews are assessing the damage and bracing for aftershocks in the wake of a massive New Year's Day earthquake in Japan. This fire is one of several that started in the wake of that 7.5 magnitude quake that hit just before midnight our time. It triggered tsunami warnings, all of which have since been lifted, but the shock and the damage remain. Mike Valerio takes us inside.
This is what it was like when the 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit western Japan on Monday. And this video goes on for about a minute. Roofs and buildings collapsed. Japan's self-defense forces dispatched 1,000 of its personnel to the quake zone. As she's walking through her neighborhood, the person recording the video says, "We're in serious trouble. Please come and help us."
It was 7.5, but it was shallow. So that means where the fault was moving was very close to where people were living, and that can concentrate shaking close to where the earthquake happened.
Fires burned past nightfall, but Ishikawa in western Japan seems to have avoided the same scale of disaster suffered during the 2011 Fukushima earthquake and tsunami.
It's not a particularly populated area. There are probably a lot of older people there, which is definitely a worry. We heard a report earlier this evening about one of the evacuation centers was itself a nursing home, and that's, very concerning. I've covered other events, earthquakes and other disasters, where that's one of the biggest troubles is trying to evacuate people who might not have a lot of mobility.
As for concerns at the dawn of this new year,
an earthquake this big is going to continue to have aftershocks. It could easily have aftershocks bigger than magnitude 6, so that's going to be a hazard in its own right.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Well, a lot more to get to here on this New Year's Day edition of 4 News Now at 6, including an important recall of baby formula. What tests showed about this specialty formula and what to do if it's something your family relies on. And are you making those New Year's resolutions? We'll give you some ideas on how to stick with them and see what most people are hoping to do better in 2024. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Super One Foods. Those responsible for making our local roads and highways safe for winter travel would like to remind you that snow removal is an important, critical, and precise task. Please give the right-of-way to removal equipment so we can all get where we need to go quickly and safely.
Magical moments. Snowy adventures. Warming up. Making memories. A winter wonderland. The perfect close-by getaway this winter is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Find countless ways to play and plan your escape at cdawinter.com.
Yep, that was me. I've gotten older, my horse is bigger, and my dad, well...
Since then, we've added the Mitsubishi franchise to our dealership.
Which means we have 0% financing and over $10,000 in discounts below MSRP.
And right now, many quality pre-owned price below cost.
Below cost?
That's right, Tay, or we couldn't advertise it.
So really nothing's changed. We still have a lot of great deals and we're a lot of fun too.
Lions in the Vision across from Lowe's.
Have you heard? Tempur-Pedic sleep is better sleep.
With innovative memory foam developed by NASA, Tempur-Pedic mattresses reduce motion transfer,
Which means less tossing and turning so you can sleep undisturbed through the night. But which Tempur-Pedic is right for you? Come to Denver Mattress and test for yourself. Or get a $300 gift when you purchase any qualifying Tempur-Pedic. And rest easy knowing it's backed by our 365-night better sleep guarantee. Shop Denver Mattress today, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer.
Experience the Coeur d'Alene Boat Expo. Explore better boats, the largest selection of inventory, and the biggest savings, all under one roof, inside the region's largest indoor showroom. Discover the latest models from the industry's best brands, including Cobalt, Malibu, Axis, Barletta, Chris-Craft, Harris, Regal, and Cruisers Yachts, plus our huge display of pre-owned inventory. Mark your calendars and make waves with us at the biggest event of the year, happening February 1st through February 10th. The Coeur d'Alene Boat Expo. Better boats, better prices, better event.
Winter weather means hazardous driving conditions. If you must travel, follow these guidelines to keep everyone safe. Slow down and keep a safe following distance. Use traction tires. Give snow and emergency vehicles the right of way. Carry an emergency kit. Brought to you by Lakes, Worley, Post Falls, and Eastside Highway Districts.
All right, welcome back. In news for your health tonight. Does it seem like everyone you know got sick over the holidays? The numbers seem to back that up. The CDC reports a jump in hospitalizations since the week before Christmas. People are sick with COVID, RSV, and the flu. Nationwide, the number of people hospitalized with COVID jumped 17% in just 1 week, but we're nowhere near where we were at the height of the pandemic. RSV isn't spreading as quickly, but it's still showing a rise in hospitalization rates. Washington and Idaho are seeing high rates of the flu right now. Take a look at this map from the CDC. It is the most recent data dated December the 23rd. States in orange, if we can see that map, are considered high. The more red a state is, the higher its flu activity. Experts say more travel and gatherings over the holidays could increase these numbers even more. All right, a consumer alert for you now, a warning for parents giving their children a certain baby formula. If you use this formula on your screen, Nutrimigin Hypoallergenic Powdered Infant Formula, you'll want to throw it away or take it back. No babies have gotten sick yet, but the FDA says it tested positive for a certain bacteria that can cause rare but potentially deadly infections in newborns. This is a specialty formula, but there are substitutes you can use, so if your baby needs it, you'll want to check with their healthcare provider about the best substitute. We told you earlier in this newscast about new laws in Washington and Idaho for 2024, but other states are making big changes this new year as well. ABC's Rhiannon Alley shows us some new laws around the nation.
California's kicking off 2024 with new protections for pot smokers. Starting today, it is illegal for employers in the state to fire someone for using marijuana outside the workplace. In neighboring Nevada, new rules allow for human composting, giving families the option of having a loved one's body turned into soil in lieu of cremation or burial. And Illinois' first in the nation ban on book bans takes effect today, making public libraries ineligible for state funding if they censor books for political or religious reasons. Meanwhile, it's new year, new pay for nearly 10 million minimum wage workers across the country.
The impact of the increase in minimum wage, it just moves people closer and closer to out of poverty.
22 states are adopting laws in the new year to pump up paychecks for workers. Raises range from an extra 35 cents an hour in some states to massive bumps of more than $1 for workers in Maryland, Hawaii, and Nebraska. But California's controversial decision to increase hourly pay by $4 between now and April is already facing fallout. Major fast food chains like McDonald's and Chipotle are planning to increase California menu prices in the coming months. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, and Pizza Hut is making the most drastic changes in the wake of those pay raises in California. We told you about this. Two of the state's biggest franchisees plan to lay off all 1,200 delivery drivers. Customers will have to rely on Uber Eats and other delivery services if they want their pizza brought to them.
All right, on this Monday evening, here's the 4 things that you need to know. We have a dense fog advisory in effect till tomorrow at noon. That fog has been hanging out for days. Freezing fog within that is possible, so it could simulate snow. Cooler week ahead than certainly how we wrapped up last year. And on Friday, we have the opportunity to see some snow, certainly into the mountains. Lower elevations could be rain or rain-snow mixed. We'll have your full forecast coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Everhart Painting.
They say it's not the destination, but the journey.
Arby's says, nuh-uh. Get 2 of these things for just $7 at Arby's Cheddathon sales event. Arby's, we have the meat.
What can we make for you today from the Sweet Palace in Phillipsburg, Montana?
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
Right now, there's just so much happening in our world. So much at stake at the start of every morning.
Making sense of it all, that's not always so easy.
And that's where we come in.
Good Morning America. We want you to know every morning.
We're right here, and we got you.
Here we go. Football is back, and your fantasy lineups are set. But the real action this season is at Turf Club Sportsbook. We've got real sports betting in the heart of the action at Northern Quest, with wall-to-wall HD TVs and luxury leather seating just off the casino floor. And now, you can even place bets right on your phone with our new mobile app. There's nothing fantasy about that. Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer.
The best part of the brisket, bacon, beef, and cheddar is definitely one of those things. Arby's, we have the meat.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a live look here over downtown Spokane. We've been talking a lot about that fog over the last few days, and as Mark Peterson joins us here with a look at your forecast, that fog is not really going anywhere, is it?
No, it's going to be hanging out, but it is on the move. There's no doubt about that. It's sort of following the temperatures. So we look at where we have those colder temperatures north and south of Spokane. It was all the way to Ritzville an hour ago. So again, it's going to be the ebb and flow of that fog tonight. Now, we do have a dense fog advisory from Spokane to Coeur d'Alene. Takes us all the way on Highway 2 out past Davenport. Again, just allow for extra time as you're going to be traveling not only today, but tonight and tomorrow, certainly into the afternoon. In some areas, they're going to hold on to the fog. We take a live look at I-90 in Argonne, and we just thin fog there. Also, Liberty Lake's looking pretty good right now. But we look at what we have here, and we're sitting at 33 degrees. We can see the low cloud deck in the fog as you head out west on 2. And Coeur d'Alene looks to have fog. They're sitting at 33 degrees. Our overnight low tonight is going to get down to 30. It is going to be the fog remaining. Winds are going to be light. Tomorrow, we're going to warm up to 38. We're going to have the fog. We are also going to have the cloud cover. If you need to see blue sky, you'll have to go above, say, 3,000 or 4,000 feet and take a look and then come back down into that low cloud deck that we have. We are going to see some breaks on it. Tuesday by 5 o'clock. We're going to start to see snow coming into the Cascades. That's that first bit of energy that's coming off of a huge low in the Pacific. That's going to start working its way towards us. But we are going to see south, Pendleton, south Tri-Cities, they're going to have rain. That's going to continue to hit with them throughout not only tomorrow, but into Wednesday. We have a chance of seeing some energy coming through as early as Thursday morning, but we have other computer models saying not going to happen, but we will see it Thursday night into Friday, and this is where we see that next chance of snow coming in. For lower elevations, it doesn't look like shoveling is really going to be needed. Going to be about maybe an inch of snow between Friday and Saturday, but the higher elevations, the mountains, yeah, they're going to see some snow into the higher elevations, which is really going to help. But when we see really, like 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow into the mountains, the forecast for the snow really starting Tuesday and then Winthrop, and then we see it through Wednesday and into Thursday. This is the computer model. It says, we're going to see it here, but probably not in Spokane until Friday, and that's the expectation. So for tomorrow, it's going to be 38 degrees, 42 into St. Mary's, going to be 40 into Ritzville, Moses Lake, and the Tri-Cities. Planning forecast. We're going to be dry with chances of fog each morning, and 36 on Thursday, Friday 36. Look for snow Saturday. Should be out of the rain-snow mixed, but then decreasing chances. Now, let's talk about the night. We have been babied. We've had mid-30s. Now we're going to start to see these temperatures about average Wednesday, Thursday at 32, and then we're going to see things roll off into the low 20s as we get into Sunday and Monday. Sunday and Monday should be dry with those cold temperatures, but cold 23. And chilly nevertheless. So we're going to start behaving like winter. We're going to start. Finally. Now's the time. Finally.
2024 said, let's get serious about this.
Yeah, here we go.
All right. From making sourdough bread to learning the guitar, a lot of people picked up new habits during the pandemic, but one Massachusetts mom formed a habit that's become a game changer.
I thought, why not create something to help other people with their mental health?
Coming up, how she's doing it and the impact it's having on her family and so many others. And the Zags have been in the top 25 for more than 140 straight weeks. Did a loss last week end that streak? That and more Huskies coverage coming up later in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Hurry in, America. It's time to visit your Ford dealer for the final days of the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology and flexibility for any season. It's your last chance to get special offers on our great selection of Ford vehicles. Only during the final days of the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Come in now for 2.9% APR on a well-equipped F-150 or 1.9% APR and $2,500 bonus cash on a Bronco Sport. Hurry to your local Ford dealer.
North Idaho Urology's high-quality, accessible care just got even closer. Expert care is now within reach at the North Idaho Urology Post Falls campus. Our new Post Falls location offers the same advanced technology as our Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint clinics, creating a seamless experience for our patients. Don't wait any longer. Visit our website or call to schedule your appointment today.
It's just 10 days until the National RV Show at the Convention Center downtown. January 11th through the 15th. Amazing RV discounts and manufacturers' reps are coming from across the country with incredible prices for the show only. Thanks on site with super low interest rates. And again featuring tiny homes in multiple models. Tons of vendors and free admission. There's prizes and giveaways, including a travel trailer giveaway. There's adult beverages, live band, and a scavenger hunt for the kids. It's the National RV Show at the Convention Center downtown. January 11th through the 15th.
'Twas the month before The Bachelor, and all through the mansion,
excitement was building with love and with passion. The women arrived in limos. They came.
How we doing?
For Joey's perfect match. Love isn't a game.
Yes!
That's really funny.
Group dates and red roses must meet. 'Tis the season.
Who's here for fun?
And who's here for the right reason?
Don't get me started. The mistletoe's hung. Some will steal a few kisses with hopes to become Joey's future missus. You can all come to the wedding.
Here's to a season of love and delight.
Happy Bachelor to all, and to all a good night.
Four News Now is brought to you by Roofs by Premier.
The original Mickey Mouse has lost his protection, his copyright protection, that is. As of today, copyrighted works published in 1928 are now in the public domain. That means character and stories can be remade without permission. Also liberated from copyright protection today, the original Minnie Mouse and Winnie the Pooh's friend, Tigger. Well, an unthinkable thief in Florida. Someone made off with thousands of dollars worth of Legos meant to bring joy to kids going through cancer treatment. More than $40,000 worth of donated Legos was taken from a warehouse for the organization V for Victory, started by a dad whose own son battled cancer. He says the theft means more than 400 kids will not get Lego sets when they go in for their treatments. And after a story like that, it's good to remember there is good in the world too. That's exactly the mission of this mom from Massachusetts who's teaming up with her daughter to help others feel better. Katrina Kincaid shows us how they're spreading joy one card at a time.
If you're looking for good vibes, look no further than LP Vibes.
I said when I first started, if the cards just help one person, I'll be happy with that. But they've touched thousands.
Started by Lisa Pont during the pandemic, her positive affirmation cards serve to encourage self-love, positive thinking, and serenity, one card at a time.
Affirmation cards actually give you confidence. They create calmness in your life. They give you self-love. And I think everybody needs that in their life.
A mom of two, she found that during the pandemic, a deck of affirmation cards that she owned helped her through tough times after going through surgery. Always having a passion for doing something creative, she decided to make her own version using photos she took herself.
I've been pulling those cards every single day, and they literally changed my life. And so I thought, why not create something to help other people with their mental health?
Most recently, Lisa and her daughter Alex teamed up to make a deck of affirmation cards for children ages 5 to 12 during Alex's summer home from college. The deck focuses more on acceptance and being a good person. They wanted to build confidence back up that kids might have lost during the pandemic.
It was fun. It was challenging. We have different, sometimes, points of views, but it was such a cool experience, and she's so talented.
For myself, the cards have just been awesome. The adult deck for myself, I love to pick one every morning while I'm at school.
Her business has expanded past cards to now include various positive affirmation items, including stress balls, mugs, and hats, but all in the name of good vibes.
And that was Katrina Kincaid reporting we could all use some good vibes heading into the new year. Well, coming up, some positive energy to help you stick to those New Year's resolutions, and new details tonight about that mystery sheen on the Spokane River, where it ended up and what we saw crews doing there today.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Happy Take and Bake Tuesday!
Every Tuesday at Papa Murphy's, you can get any large pizza for just $12.99, which makes Tuesday the best day to bring home all your favorites.
We might have too many favorites.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Get your hands up, let's go! Six is the winner of 23 awards on Broadway and a euphoric celebration. Six the Musical, January 23rd to the 28th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Get tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Kylie and I know there's a lot of great choices for new and pre-owned cars in North Idaho.
And we want Parker Subaru to be your first choice.
Because Parker Subaru has won the coveted Subaru Love Promise Customer Commitment Award every year since we began in 2012.
Not only do we have a great selection of Subarus, we have an award-winning service center.
Because we are committed to keeping you satisfied long after the purchase.
Right now, it's the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event. Visit Parker Subaru in Coeur d'Alene.
We can't help what you do before you go to bed, but we can make sure the sleep is solid once you finally get there. And during the extended New Year's super sale at Denver Mattress, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or purchase a Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 gift. Check out the Summit for only $299.99, plus 6 years no interest financing and free shipping. Here's to 365 nights of better sleep. Happy New Year from Denver Mattress.
From refinishing cabinets, doors, and trim to painting walls and ceilings, Everhart Painting has you covered. Everhart Painting has been Spokane's premier painting contractor for over 50 years. Call now for our winter special. Everhart Painting, your painter for life.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
It's not an I thing, Dad. It's a we thing.
Get a large 2-topping take and bake pizza for just $10.99. Order now at papamurphys.com.
Woman who beat back her assailant in the gym.
Take the inside, smash.
Next, Inside Edition. Look where we found her today.
Ready, strike.
Boom. She's at a self-defense class. Then, did you know that these products may not work after sitting in your home for years?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Did you know fire extinguishers can expire? Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
For me, it's like patience. Patience is my New Year's resolution. Things are not going to happen overnight, so it's a long-term goal.
Dreaming big already in 2024. Patience is an admirable New Year's resolution. Have you made yours? Making resolutions is easy, but sticking to them is the hard part. Mindy Gaither has some tips that might help.
From exercising more to eating better. If you're looking to make a change in the new year, you're not alone, but bad habits can be hard to shift.
Change is not like a light switch. It is a process.
Clinical psychologist Susan Alberts with Cleveland Clinic says the first way to help make resolutions stick is to be specific about our goals.
Our brains love to know the direction that we are going. So instead of saying, I want to exercise more, make a specific goal, such as 20 minutes of walking a day. This is going to make you much more successful in completing this goal.
Albert says to also be realistic. Setting goals that aren't sustainable can make resolutions fall flat.
This is because we tend to set behaviors that are too different from where we are at this very moment. Anticipating obstacles. This is a helpful strategy for continuing resolutions.
Albert says stopping a behavior is harder than starting one. So instead of trying not to eat any more junk food, she says to try setting a goal to eat more fruits and veggies. And finally, link a new behavior to an existing one.
For example, if you drink coffee every morning, but you want to start exercising, link the exercise to drinking the coffee. Have it be the very next behavior that you do.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, so what are we most likely to try to do in 2024? Forbes released this list of the most popular New Year's resolutions. No real surprises here. Topping the list, improving fitness, followed by improving finances and improving mental health. 25% of people say they want to make more time for their loved ones. Well, having a goal can make it easier to stick to those resolutions. So how about a goal to run Bloomsday? Registration is now open for the big race, one of Spokane's most beloved traditions, and it is just 124 days and 14 hours away. The early entry fee is just $28. Register between now and February 16th, and you could win a 2-night stay at the Davenport Grand or the Davenport Tower. You can find more information and a link to register on our website at KXLY.com. Well, you could get some decent training in with the weather we've had the last few weeks as we look live over downtown Spokane from our 4 News Now Skycam. Feels like a lot like how we ended 2023, but there is some change in the forecast. Mark Peterson is here to tell us all about it in his First Alert forecast.
Well, the changes at first are going to seem very similar. We have a dense fog advisory in effect. That goes all the way through tomorrow at 12 noon. Some of the changes we're going to see is something that feels more like winter down the road. Now, fog right now is very dense along I-90 as you head out into Airway Heights and in and around the airport. Again, if you've got some flights, you want to check on those. It's better into the valley, but we see limited visibility into northern Idaho. Temperatures right now into the mid-30s if you live downtown. Up north, 35 into Deer Park. And we have temperatures that are at or below freezing when it comes to Cheney and Fairchild. Spokane, the official temperature right now is 33 degrees. As we look at what we can expect for our temperatures tomorrow, Grand Coulee 41 into Moses Lake, Kellogg 43 degrees. Our forecast for the Spokane Coeur d'Alene area. It's going to start off colder than we've seen for a while. 30, we're going to have pretty good potential for some dense fog there. We're going to hold on to that fog through mid-morning into the midday. High tomorrow is going to be 38 degrees. We'll see that around 2 o'clock, but we're going to be in the mid to upper 30s throughout much of the day. So that is cooler than what we saw all of last week. We are going to see even colder temperatures coming in for the weekend and the potential for snow. We're going to talk about the timing on the arrival of said rain snow coming up in a little bit.
All right, Mark, thank you. We've been tracking new developments today in the journey of a mysterious sheen on the Spokane River that had crews out working on a holiday miles from where it first started. People started seeing it the day after Christmas in the Millwood area near the Argonne Bridge. Last night, we heard from a woman living in 9 Mile when she spotted the polluted water outside of her home. Today, we found crews working in the Tum Tum area to clean it up. Allison Martinez spoke to people nearby about their concerns.
This week, as many Long Lake residents look from their homes to the shoreline, they see a concerning sight. As more and more people start to become aware, few questions are answered.
It's an uneasy feeling.
The Department of Ecology is starting out the new year with all hands on deck. Today, crews focused on maintaining an oil spill that happened somewhere above Upriver Dam and has now floated through 9 Mile.
I've been here over 30 years and never.
Today, neighbors woke up to a new sight, booms covering the water.
Of course, we're all very concerned about what's going on, and we haven't heard nothing.
As the Department of Ecology waits on test results for the oil, people living nearby are anxious for answers.
Where'd the oil come from? What type of oil? Is there any other contaminants in the water? And cleanup. How long?
Fear has crept in as neighbors consider whether their drinking water is safe and how the spill will affect fish and wildlife. As crews move in and out, many people have been kayaking and fishing as normal.
There is a lot of activity on the water here, and all year long, not just summertime, but in the winter as well. And we're just really concerned about what's going on.
Results for what this pollutant is and how it entered the river will be released from the Department of Ecology in the coming days. Reporting in 9 Mile, Allison Martinez, 4 News Now.
Well, we've talked about laws going into effect in the new year. One law that won't, at least for now, is a ban on gender-affirming care in Idaho. Last session, Idaho passed a law banning puberty blockers, hormones, or surgeries for minors if those procedures were contradictory to the child's biological gender. Families sued, though, challenging that law. And last week, a federal judge sided with the family, saying it violates the 14th Amendment, which provides equal protection and due process. In his decision, the judge says transgender children deserve equal protection under the law. Idaho's Attorney General plans to appeal. Gender-neutral toy aisles are now the law in California. Legislation passed in 2021 just went into effect there today. The law requires stores to maintain a gender-neutral toy section. Stores that don't comply could face a $250 fine. Now, it doesn't take away a boys or a girls section. It just requires stores to add a gender-neutral section as well. Well, the new year brings new concerns about unrest in the Middle East. This comes as the U.S. killed several Iran-backed rebels attacking ships in the Red Sea. The White House is not backing down, saying the U.S. will continue to act in self-defense in the vital waterway. ABC's M. Nguyen is tracking the story from Washington, D.C.
The onset of the new year marking escalating tensions in the Middle East, with growing concerns about the potential for a broader conflict. The U.S. appearing to get dragged in deeper as Iran-backed Houthi rebels from Yemen in the Red Sea launched more aggressive attacks against international vessels.
The Houthis should stop these attacks.
The U.S. saying Sunday Navy helicopters were under attack and forced to return fire in self-defense, sinking 3 Houthi boats for the first time, killing the crew on board. The Houthis saying they lost 10 members. The Iran-aligned group blamed for almost 24 attacks in the last 6 weeks, which they say are linked to the support of the Palestinians against Israel.
We're going to put the kind of forces we need in the region to protect those interests.
Today, the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani accusing the U.S. of intensifying instability in the Red Sea region. Kanani also responding to Israel's strike last week that killed a senior Iranian officer in Syria, saying Iran retains the legal right to respond. This as fighting rages on in Gaza. The Israeli military saying they found numerous Hamas weapons, including explosives, in a Gaza kindergarten. Sunday, an Israeli strike killed at least 35 people in central Gaza, according to hospital officials. Hours later, on New Year's, Hamas militants fired a barrage of rockets into Israel, setting off sirens across the central and southern parts. No injuries reported. Israel's prime minister saying he believes the war will continue for many more months. Meanwhile, negotiators are seeking another exchange deal to help the dozens of remaining hostages being held in Gaza. But so far, Israel has resisted international calls for another ceasefire. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Well, some kids head back to school tomorrow. Others get another full week of winter break. It would be a perfect week to get up to the mountain, but there may not be much there to enjoy. We'll check in with Mark Peterson and the chance of snow next in your First Alert forecast. You're watching 4 News Now at 6:30.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Coeur d'Alene Convention and Visitors Bureau.
When it comes to quality roofing solutions, trust the experts at Roofs by Premier. Roofs by Premier has more than 50 years of experience in the Inland Northwest. Schedule now for spring and receive $500 off.
Hey, can I get some butter for my popcorn?
Sure, it'll be $1 extra.
$1 extra for butter?
Yep.
Ridiculous, right? You know what else doesn't make sense? Some people are still paying for their checking accounts. Some places it's $12 a month. At P1FCU, we believe some things should just be free. Open your Ascent checking with tons of great benefits at p1fcu.org/free.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
It's time to start the new year off right in a new Toyota from Findlay Downtown Toyota. The new 2024 models are available, which means you can get the best selection now with over 100 great choices. And pick the color and package options you like best and take delivery today. And if you're looking for a certified pre-owned vehicle, we've got over 3 blocks full of great choices. So if you need a safe, reliable winter ride, you can find it at Findlay.
When it comes to quality roofing solutions, trust the experts at Roofs by Premier. Roofs by Premier has more than 50 years of experience in the Inland Northwest. Schedule now for spring and receive $500 off.
Next ET. Why am I your favorite? Wow! The stars spilling the ET in 2024.
Tell me now.
Good try, ET. Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war. The worst attack in 50 years. Israel waging a fierce bombardment of Gaza.
When it matters most, America turns to David Muir and ABC's World News Tonight.
A pretty quiet night in downtown Spokane tonight. Quite the contrast to the festivities of New Year's Eve. But when it comes to the weather, things look very familiar out there, Mark. And that setup looks pretty familiar, too. I think that's Cowley Park, yeah?
The lights at Cowley Park. I just could look at them all day, but we don't have enough time. What I do know I need to do is turn the Christmas music off. It's still playing during the day. Maybe now's the time to make that go
How much longer are the lights, do we think?
That's a great question. I don't have an answer.
Okay.
Probably middle of the month.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mid-January. Yeah,
Might as well be
we'll
festive.
see. All right, let's take a check of the forecast. Give you an idea of what you're going to be facing tonight. It would not be a bad night to go down and walk through Cowley Park. Again, sidewalks are clear. Everybody's had pretty good sidewalks lately, but we're going to have things freezing overnight. So some untreated areas that get a lot of moisture could be a little slippery, certainly tomorrow morning as you're heading out. So just take it easy. We do have a dense fog advisory in effect, and that goes until noon tomorrow, and it's our region from Spokane to Coeur d'Alene, north and south, and then all the way out Highway 2 as you get past Davenport. We've seen this moving around a bit when we look at the current fog, but it is really concentrating north and south of us. Now we're seeing it more into North Idaho and into Montana. Missoula's packed in with fog. Of course, they're in the valley, sort of like what we were and are, and will continue to see that fog moving about. Now, tonight, temperatures down to 30 degrees. We're going to remain foggy. If there's a day where I get to not say that word, I would be grateful. Tomorrow, we start with fog. We go to afternoon potential to see maybe a break in the cloud cover and see a little blue sky, but that's going to be late into the afternoon. 38 is going to be the high, which is above average. Now, today we hit 36 degrees. That normal, that 30-year normal is 33 and 23 for the overnight low. We've been above normal all fall into winter and now into what is the new year. But that is going to change as we see things starting to cool down. So we look at what we can expect when it comes to that 4-day forecast. By tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we're going to see a little more cloud cover coming in. We're going to see the potential for mountain snow, certainly. The potential for a little bit of energy on Thursday, but it looks like Thursday night into Friday, we start to see this rain changing over to snow. We're not expecting a ton out of this in the lower elevations, maybe an inch or so, and it's far enough in advance that, you know, we're not real sure, but we know this much. The mountains are going to get quite a bit of snow, and that's going to be great news for the winter sports enthusiasts, for, again, our runoff come next spring. 38 will be the high for us. 40 into Ritzville. You're going to have 38 into Wenatchee. Everybody's very consistent. Mid-30s, Sandpoint, Bonners Ferry. Dry tomorrow, aside from that patchy fog in the morning. We're going to start to cool down. Temperatures into the mid-30s Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But if I get out of the way of Sunday and Monday, you see highs of 31 degrees. Overnight lows are going to be dipping into the low 20s. Now, you're going great, Mark. That takes us through next weekend. What do we have for the week after that? NOAA's saying, you know what, we're going to be colder than average. So we're going to continue to remain cold, but we have a chance of some increased moisture, increased potential to see maybe some more mountain snows and lower elevation snow potentially. But that is a good thing. We have been above average warmth for weeks. This is going to be a nice break. We're going to hold on. Any snow we get, we'll hold on to it.
Okay, that's great news for those mountains for sure. Yeah. All right, question for you. When you think of the Olympics, who are the first people that come to mind?
Mark Spitz. I mean, that immediately, he won so many medals. and maybe I didn't track it last time very well.
Right.
Maybe.
The correct answer we're looking for here, though, is Snoop.
Snoop?
Yes, the rapper. And apparent sports broadcaster Snoop Dogg is joining the coverage of the Summer Olympics. Snoop is joining NBC's programming for the Games in Paris. As strange as it might sound, you might remember this, he actually has some experience here. Snoop and comedian Kevin Hart did Olympics commentary for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, which NBC says got them tens of millions of views. So
it's going to be interesting.
Stick with a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like the Manning broadcast on Monday Night Football, right? It's like just a different thing, I guess.
Yeah, trying to get young people to watch the Olympics because no one watches anymore. It peaked with Michael Phelps in 2008, the greatest Olympian of all time.
Well, there you go. Right, I'm with you.
Anyway, well, the Seattle Seahawks, they shot themselves in the foot this past weekend by not beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, they don't control their destiny when it comes to making the playoffs. Coming up in sports, we're going to dive into each of those scenarios that will get them into the postseason, and a couple of them get very crazy. Don't want to miss it.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Bill's Heating and AC. We're the Northwest's largest and most trusted HVAC contractor. We have the manpower. We have the experience. We have the lowest prices. And we have our own 6th man.
Want a cool new vehicle for the new year? A new style? Tough 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive? With delayed payments until April 1st, then you need to head down to the Cal Superstores in Airway Heights and Coeur d'Alene, where they are offering up to $600 of free upgrades, like truck lifts, light bars, and tires, to customize your new ride. Get your new vehicle this year at Cal.
Where were we?
Oh my God, are we doing this?
Let's do this.
Y'all waiting for help to come? It's already here.
Exactly. That's what I've always said.
After School Crew is back, baby.
Let's get to work. I'm back on this case.
There is always a reason to fight for another day.
This is the year to break the rules.
I'm in.
That was inspiring.
I'm excited to see what's coming.
Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Let's go!
Let's take this rocket ship for a ride. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just so happy to be back.
It's just 10 days until the National RV Show at the Convention Center downtown. January 11th through the 15th. Amazing RV discounts and manufacturers reps are coming from across the country with incredible prices for the show only. Thanks on site with super low interest rates. And again featuring tiny homes in multiple models. Tons of vendors and free admission. There's prizes and giveaways, including a travel trailer giveaway. There's adult beverages, live band, and a scavenger hunt for the kids. It's the National RV Show at the Convention Center downtown. January 11th through the 15th.
4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
Well, after waiting weeks, we now know where Washington State quarterback Cam Ward is headed, and it isn't to another school. This morning, he took to social media to officially declare for the 2024 NFL Draft. In his first 2 seasons in Pullman, Ward threw for more than 6,900 yards and accounted for 61 touchdowns. A bit of an interesting move here because Ward is not really considered to be a first or second round draft pick, and maybe would have made about $1 million or even more if he had transferred to a school like Miami, Florida State, or even Ohio State. Now, if he is selected, he'll be the first Cougar quarterback taken in the draft since Gardner Minshew in 2019. Now, staying in the college football world here, this is the current score down in New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl college football semifinal. Washington just scored a touchdown to go up 14-7. We'll have the highlights coming up for you on Nightside. And in the college basketball world, the Gonzaga Bulldogs remain in that top 25 poll by the skin of their teeth. They sit at number 24 in the nation, down 11 spots from last week. Of course, the Bulldogs are coming off a big loss to San Diego State on Friday night. They're 4th of the season already with this ranking of number 24. Gonzaga does keep their streak of 142 consecutive weeks in the poll alive. Bulldogs are going to open up WCC play on Thursday as they welcome in Pepperdine to the Spokane Arena. Now, the Gonzaga women haven't played in more than a week, but they continue to rise in the polls. They now sit at number 18 in the Associated Press Top 25. Bulldogs are 13-2 on the season. They're going to begin WCC play later this week down in Portland, and they're going to be favored in just about every matchup from here on out, so it's not really out of the realm of possibility that they could be hosting NCAA tournament games inside the kennel. Now, if the Seattle Seahawks simply would have won yesterday, they would control their playoff destiny headed into Week 18. Instead, they're going to have to win and then get some help if they want to be playing beyond this week. Now, there are 3 scenarios where Seattle could make the playoffs. The first and the simplest, they beat the Cardinals, and then they have the Packers lose or tie the Bears. Then after that, it gets a little more complicated. They tie the Cardinals and have the Packers lose, as well as the Buccaneers loss or tie. And then finally, Seattle ties the Cardinals, and the Packers lose along with the Saints loss or tie. So a little bit complicated with those last 2, but you got to win and essentially hope the Packers lose. And what you don't see on any of these scenarios is a loss, and the team knows what's in front of them.
You know, we wanted to control our own destiny. Obviously, like you said, we can't do that anymore. But, you know, there's no time for us to kind of feel sorry for ourselves. We got another game to play. We still got a chance, still got an opportunity. So, you know, next week's going to be big for us.
Now let's head out to T-Mobile Park. Yes, that's right, for the NHL Winter Classic. The Seattle Kraken welcoming in the Vegas Golden Knights. Knights showing up in Vegas or Elvis outfits there, and then you know, they arrive with the fish, of course. Anyway, in the first 5 minutes of the first period, Seattle's Adam Larson passes across to Vince Dunn, shoots in the net, and that's a goal. Kraken up 1-0. Next period. It's going to be a bit of a deflection off the goaltender, and then Will Borgen there to follow it up for the rebound score. It's 2-0 Seattle here. They're rolling. Then in the third, Seattle's Yanni Gourde with a nice steal of the puck, and it's all Kraken right now. They roll 3-0, get the win in front of a capacity crowd where the Mariners, you know, usually don't.
I made sure to turn on. It just looked really cool on TV. We'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Whether planning your big day or needing a final touch, the Spokane Wedding Expo is for you. Experience firsthand all the aspects of a great wedding. Food, fashion, photography, flowers, and music, all in one place. For tickets, visit SpokaneWeddingExpo.com.
At Parker Toyota, we believe in driving with confidence. Parker Toyota's certified pre-owned vehicles offer you affordability and dependability when buying your next Toyota.
We take the guesswork out of buying pre-owned because every Toyota certified vehicles goes through 160-point check by our trained technician.
Whether it's a stylish sedan or versatile SUV or a fuel-efficient hybrid, we have the largest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the area.
See our huge selection of vehicles and receive our no-problem customer service at Parker Toyota in beautiful Coeur d'Alene.
Spokane Exercise Equipment is the Inland Northwest premier provider of top-of-the-line exercise and rehabilitation equipment. Once the Spokane Exercise Equipment technicians have finished setting up your new home gym, that's when the workout competition begins. Spokane Exercise Equipment has all you need to achieve your fitness goals. They offer delivery, installation, service, and maintenance for all residential and commercial customers. Visit them in downtown Spokane or go online to see their full line of products.
At Furniture Row, a new year calls for a new sofa, sectional, dining group, bedroom, mattress, and more. Because the New Year's Super Sale has been extended, so getting it all has never been easier. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend and watch the savings add up. Plus, 6 years, no interest financing. Say goodbye to tired old designs. And to killer new looks at great prices. But hurry, the extended New Year's Super Sale at Furniture Row ends soon.
ABC's celebrating music's highest honor, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, with performances and tributes to this year's inductees.
To be standing here means so much to me.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, tonight on ABC.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
Drinking watermelon moonshine.
Oh, Lord, when it rains, the big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Whether planning your big day or needing a final touch, the Spokane Wedding Expo is for you. Experience firsthand all the aspects of a great wedding. Food, fashion, photography, flowers, and music, all in one place. For tickets, visit SpokaneWeddingExpo.com.
When it matters most, America turns to David Muir and ABC's World News Tonight.
Okay, just an update on the Sugar Bowl. Huskies still lead 14-7, but Texas is threatening to tie this game up right now.
Knock on the door.
All right, it's a good game. Forecast, I don't know if it's a good forecast. If you like the weather we've had the last couple of weeks, nice and warm, it's going to change. We're going to have temperatures in the mid-30s by the end of the week. The opportunity for some snow, but really it's going to be a mountain event that we're going to see 5, 6, 7 inches of snow there. Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, maybe an inch or so Friday, potentially, and that could include Saturday as well. It's expected to be light snow, but fog for tonight and tomorrow.
Those mountains, though, they've been doing their snow dances, so it sounds like it's finally going to pay off, at least a little bit.
They started playing disco music, and now it's coming true.
All right, we'll have those highlights from the Huskies game and much more coming up tonight on Nightside starting at 11. We'll see you then.